My friends, only 2 shows to go in 2019, and everybody's asking the same questions. They're asking, what was the news story of the year? Was it Donald Trump? Was it Congress? Was it impeachment? Was it North Korea? Was it mass shootings? Was it China? Well, I would like to weigh in. Since I've got a radio show, it's pretty easy for me to do. I don't think the main story, the biggest story in the world, was any of those in 2019. I think the biggest story of the year, and don't laugh when I say this because you got to give me a chance to explain it. I think the most important, most momentous story of the year in 2019 was UFOs. Item from Slate.com. Not long ago, the world received what seemed like an otherworldly revelation. The Pentagon had been secretly running a UFO research project despite the fact it had long claimed a lack of interest in flying saucers. 3 creepy UFO videos were paraded onto the internet showing mystery objects caught on military cameras. Out of the shadows emerged the program's soul-patched former director. He had recently retired from the Defense Department and joined up with a new corporation called the To the Stars Academy. Helmed by former Blink-182 member Tom DeLonge, To the Stars is both a UFO research organization and a media company. It had attracted other high-profile figures, too, like the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and a retired executive from Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, the division that designs planes that seem like they're from other planets. Since those initial disclosures, UFOs have kept themselves in the headlines like celebrities who haven't made a movie in a decade but show up quarterly on magazine covers. And in the 2 years since the initial saucer story, the truth has grown complicated. The Pentagon claims the bearded director wasn't actually the director, and in fact, quote, had no responsibilities with regard to the program. It has released documentation showing that the 3 UFO videos were never authorized for public release, and most recently it has claimed that the supposed UFO program didn't actually deal with UFOs at all. Despite this turbulence, 2019 was the year that UFOs managed to propel themselves into an uneasy political legitimacy. Washington initiated ufological policy changes, held official UFO meetings, even signed a research agreement with To the Stars. Some segments of the population have taken the government nods as acknowledgement that UFOs are both real and extraterrestrial, but the truth, while out there, is considerably fuzzier. Unquote. My friends, let's deal in facts. There are such things as UFOs. Nobody disputes that. Let's deal with another fact. The roughly 60 years since they first showed up, here in America at least, they have shown the ability to do things that our own aircraft cannot do. They move at amazing speeds. I read about one going 1,700 miles an hour. They take zigzag turns on a dime, which we cannot do. They defy radar. Some of them have shot beams at aircraft and what have you and damaged or destroyed them. Whatever they are, wherever they come from, whoever is piloting them, they represent a major threat to the security of the United States. No, I'm going to go even further than that. They represent a threat that cannot be defended against. That explains, if nothing else, that explains why all the secrecy for these past 6 decades, the government does not want American citizens to know that we are basically powerless against whatever the hell is zooming around up there. Photos have been taken of UFOs out in space from the Apollo missions, from the space station. They've been reported in every country. We've heard thousands and thousands of stories from reputable people about UFO abductions. We've heard from people with past careers in the Pentagon, in the covert agencies, saying that yes, they are real. In 2019, the UFO issue gained a legitimacy in the major press. Tucker Carlson on Fox News has done several segments on this. The fact is that UFOs are real. They've got technology that we don't have. And so whatever they are, they pose a threat. Now, I would like to see this subject taken seriously. I'm not talking about little green men, and I'm not talking about Star Trek or Star Wars or E.T. I'm talking about a very real threat, unknown, unidentified, that apparently can run rings around our best technology. If nothing else, the presidency of Donald Trump has shown light on areas that heretofore we weren't looking at all. How biased the press is, the swamp and all its tendrils running through our government controlling things. Well, this is another area that we haven't really looked at seriously, but we've got to begin doing so now. I don't know who's flying UFOs. Maybe they belong to another country here on Earth. If so, we'd better know that. We'd better figure out how to defend against them. I know that UFOs have shown the ability to turn off the electricity at nuclear silos and of aircraft buzzing around them. They've got technology well in advance of our own, and this was the year, 2019 was the year that information was put out there by the major media. Good. That's a step forward. Now it's up to us to grab our legislators by the ears and say, hey, America needs to know exactly who and what these things are. So I want you to make that a priority, because until we do, we cannot be completely safe, whether we're spending $738 billion a year on the military or not. It's real truth. It's Monday, the second to the last show of the year, and we'll be right back.